Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. Hope you're having a great weekend. In today's video, I'm going to continue on with the little series that I started, I think it's been a couple weeks ago now, where I am sharing some of my personal favorite candle accessories. Obviously, I'm a huge sucker for home fragrance, and so I tend to decorate a lot with candles as well. And the first video that I shared in this series were all of my Bath & Body Works candle accessories. If you missed that video and you're interested, I will link it in the description box down below. Feel free to go check that out after this video here. Also, there are a couple more videos coming in this series. I do want to share other types of candle accessories as well. So I plan on featuring also a video about my favorite hurricanes, my favorite votive holders, taper candle holders, you know, sconces, candle sconces, if you will, stuff like that. So yeah, if you are interested at all in this series, make sure you're subscribed and the videos should pop up in your subscription feed. Anyway, today we are diving into my HomeWorx candle pedestal collection. Honestly, I think I get probably the most comments on my candle reviews sometimes about the different pedestals that the candles are sitting on top of. And I have to admit, I really wish that HomeWorx would return with the more traditional pedestals. I feel like HomeWorx as of late has been leaning a little bit more towards hurricanes, but I don't really personally, I haven't loved any of the hurricanes enough to pick them up because honestly, I think for the price point, they're just not substantial enough for me. Do not get me wrong. I don't mind blowing money on a big, huge, like statement hurricane. I love them. I have so many in my collection and I do think they are very useful. They're just a very handy candle accessory and they can also just really add a lot to your home decor. So I don't mind spending money on them, but none of the hurricanes that have come out so far from HomeWorx have really, I guess, spoken to me personally. So no offense if you love them. Here's the thing about home decor, like everybody has different tastes. Everyone has different approaches. My friends actually laugh about my home decor taste because I like a really kind of like vintage look. A lot of the things that I've been collecting, especially over, I would say like the last 10 years of my life, have been pieces that I have found at antique shows, flea markets, you know, like discount type stores. I love to hit up, you know, Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx. I can find a lot of vintage looking pieces there sometimes. Yeah, I just kind of, I go all over the place to source decor from my home. And so, but yeah, I do think it maybe tends to lean a little bit more towards a vintage, like older type of look, if you will. I am not someone who likes a minimalist modern decor. I think that can look really beautiful, but it's just not what speaks to me personally, right? So everybody, like I said, kind of has their own approach to decorating their home. And what I really like about these HomeWorx candle pedestals is that so many of them just fit within my theme so well. But one thing I do want to warn you about is that a number of these I have actually customized over the years. I have a video about how I personally do this. I'll link that in the description box down below as well. But yeah, a lot of the finishes in terms of the colors of some of these pedestals didn't really speak to me. The design did, love the design, but the color is not necessarily my thing. I tend to prefer bronze, gold, brass, and the gold that I lean towards is not like a really like shiny, bold gold, if you will. I like more of like that, like old gold, you know, almost kind of like borderline brassy looking in a way, kind of tarnished looking. And I feel like just Harry, his style maybe is a little bit more like bold, a little bit more flashy when it comes to finishes. And so if I don't like the way that the color of something looks in my home. I'm just not afraid to like change the color of it to fit my tastes. So if you see a pedestal, but you're like, oh, I don't know, that color just doesn't jive with me, just paint it. I mean, there's 100 different ways that you can tackle customizing these pieces. I lean towards spray paint for the most part, but you can also use things like rub and buff. You can use actual paint. Like, just kind of depends on, you know, the approach you want to take. But yeah, a lot of these pieces are customized. In total, I think I have about somewhere between 15 and 18 pedestals in total. So I brought up just one of each style, if you will. And I will tell you which of these I do have multiples of. And in the case of the multiples, they're all actually painted slightly different colors. So it just makes it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, you guys, I really hope that in the future, Harry returns to giving us more of these traditional pedestals, because that's really where HomeWorx started out with their candle accessories, are these beautiful pedestal pieces. And I gotta say, I'm not seeing enough of these as of late. So if you would all like to start a petition with me for Harry to return to making these bad boys, let's get it started. So anyway, let's start here, because this is the very first candle pedestal that I ever personally purchased from HomeWorx. I still love it to this day. It is the only one that I kept in this kind of shiny silver. Because it was my first one, I decided not to customize it. I have been tempted, don't get me wrong. I don't like shiny things. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm just not into it. But I do love pine cones. And when I pick my pedestals, typically what I try to keep in mind is, can I get maybe multiple seasons out of a pedestal? I'm much more likely to purchase something when I know that I can use it for at least maybe 2 seasons out of the year. I do have a few here that are very like specific seasonal pieces, but a number of these I can use during the fall and the holidays, or during the spring and the summer. So if I can, like I said, get more use out of something, I'm much more likely to purchase it. Pine cones are pretty neutral. I love pine cones in the fall. I love pine cones in the holiday winter time as well. So these are beautiful. So this very first one probably has the nicest bottom, if you will, in that the this like velvet that's on the bottom here covers like the entire piece. I'll show you guys the underside of some of these other ones. But I will say, I've always kind of been annoyed with this one because it has some bubbling on the top here. Now you don't see that at all when there is a candle sitting on top, so I don't mind it that much. I mean, I could have definitely tried to like eliminate the bubbles in here, but I just don't bother. Some of these did come with candles, like a duo, if you will. So you get a candle with the pedestal, but some of them I purchased just on their own. If they do decide to come back with these pedestals, I bet they're probably gonna pair them with candles. Don't let that stop you from buying a pedestal that you love. Just give the candle away. If you don't like the way the candle smells, give it as a teacher's gift. Give it, you know, maybe your mom will like it. Maybe your sister will like it. I mean, we all have different fragrance tastes too, right? So just because you don't like the candle, don't let that necessarily stop you. So anyway, this is my very first one. I loved it. And I was so excited when a few years ago, he brought the design back. But look what he did. He gave me the beautiful, like, old gold brassy look that I love. And this has some really nice, I don't know, it just, because of like the kind of dark accents that are on here, it just gives this even more of a textured look. And I just love that when it comes to home decor, is I really like a lot of texture. And this one is just beyond beautiful. Now let me contrast that with a slightly shinier version, because they also brought it out in a rose gold. So you can see the rose gold is a little bit more of that shiny finish. There really isn't much in the way of, you know, like a patina look, if you will, on this one, but it's still really stunning. Let me set the other one down so I can hold this still here. But Isn't that stunning? So let's take a look at the bottom. So whereas in the past, they kind of made sure that the velvet, you know, went all around the bottom, with these newer ones, they're just putting, you know, a little circle of velvet on the bottom. None of these have ever scratched my surfaces. Like, this definitely is enough protection here, but isn't it, I love pine cones. I am a lover of pine cones. All right, let me move some things around here really quickly. Let's stick with the pine cones because Harry did come out with another type of pine cone pedestal. And this one here these are smaller pine cones. The original color, and you can see it on the bottom here because I really didn't do the best job with this one. I did really quick. This was probably the wrong one to bring up. I will be fixing the spray paint on this one for this coming fall and holiday season. But typically when this is sitting on a table, like, you don't really notice the silver on the bottom. So anyway, but I am gonna fix this one because it's been driving me nuts. As I've been moving pedestals around, I'm just like, why did I did a sloppy job. So anyway, this originally came silver, kind of like this finish here, but again, it's not my favorite. So this one here, I believe I have either 3 or 4 of these in total. They're all slightly different shades of gold or bronze. I also like a nice, like, dark, pewtery bronzy finish as well. I prefer the larger pine cones, but I do think this one is very sweet. So this is just more of like these smaller cluster pine cones, if you will. And I do really like this one as well. So, but I am gonna need to fix this one before the fall rolls around because it's just gonna drive me nuts. I feel like my persnicketyness about stuff like that is picking up the older that I get, and like I have to tweak things. I have to make them the way that I envision them in my head, or it drives me nuts. All right, let me show you another one that I have multiples of. I believe that I have, again, 3 or 4 of this style as well. And I really love this one because this is also a design that I use both in the spring and the summer. So I get quite a bit of use out of this one. This particular one is spray painted white, and these are flowers. So I fell in love with this one because if you're new here, I used to be a florist. I owned my own company, but a couple of years ago, I made the decision to just kind of shut my company down for a little while, to take a break from it. I was just kind of struggling with floral work. I was doing just a ton of weddings, and if you work in the wedding industry, it's a tough gig. Like, it's rough. I mean, I always had really great clients for the most part, but it wasn't even necessarily my clients. A lot of times it was just like the family members, and it was, you know, like, it was a lot of things. Anyway, moral of the story is, I am no longer a florist, but now I feel like I almost appreciate flowers even more. So I'm really glad to have this one. And this I love in the white. Like, this has kind of like a white chalk paint finish to it here. I also have this in bronze. I think I have one in gold as well, kind of a champagne-y gold. It's just really pretty. So love this one. I wish that he would bring this one back. This, and I would say the larger pine cone, you should bring these back, Harry. They obviously sold quite well, so we should revisit these. Anyway, what should we do next? Let's do summer specific. We're in summer. Well, starts what, next week? I think it's the 20th. Yes, it's the 20th. So typically I don't purchase like a lot of these like very specific seasonal ones, but these very much are just summer pedestals for me. I'm gonna start with this one here because I've already held it up. This is a beautiful pedestal that originally came in, silver. Totally. This one, I think, just did not look good in silver at all. I would have even taken this one like in a gold finish over the silver. I don't know what it is. It just wasn't my jam at all. So I went with kind of this like bronzy type look, pewter type finish, if you will. And isn't it? Oh, I love it. It's so pretty. So you've got these beautiful tropical florals on here. So very much a summer specific pedestal. I like how substantial and large this one looks. This one here is also quite hefty. Now these are just tropical leaves. So you've got some monsteras here, some tropical ferns. Really, really beautiful. I did not alter the color of this one at all. This is how it came, and it's perfect. Like, this one is perfect. It's got some like aging on it. It looks really, really interesting and unique, and I love all of those tropical leaves on there. So this is the one that was in my beloved Sherborne Hurricane from Pottery Barn. Speaking of blowing money on hurricanes, yeah, so I broke the glass. I did. I don't want to talk about it. It's like, still, I'm really annoyed with myself because I knew better. And yeah, so I broke it. But yeah, this was the one that was in my Sherborne Hurricane, and it just looks so beautiful in there. So extra bummed about that. But the pedestals on their own, I think, are beautiful. I do like pairing them with some of my larger hurricanes. I have done that for a very long time, but I do think that the pedestals just on their own are stunners. Now this is my smallest pedestal here, and I purchased this one because my daughter likes to collect seashells when we go to the beach, and this just, I thought, was very sweet, and it just reminded me of her. So this one just has some seashells. It's just very kind of sweet and fun. Craig and I have a goal of purchasing a beach house in the future. So I will probably actually leave stuff like this at the beach house. So especially I think this seashell one would be so sweet, you know, in a beach house type setting. So anyway, I do like this one. This was definitely one that came with a candle. I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure I gifted the candle away because the scent didn't really speak to me. If you can remember what candle came with this one, I will give you a gold star because I do not recall. All right, let's talk about a specific fall pedestal that I own. Now this one here came, what color was this? I can't remember. I think this was originally gold. I want to say it was like a really shiny, like very shiny, bright gold. Didn't like it. So I spray painted it like a chalky white, and then I took some sandpaper and distressed it just kind of on the high points of the pumpkins here so that the gold peeked through. I love it now. Like, this one here, I think is just so beautiful, and it like fits in perfectly with my fall decor because I tend to go a little bit more towards neutrals when it comes to fall decor. But isn't this one neat? So it's basically just pumpkins set into like this nest of twigs, I guess is the vision here. It's adorable. I get a ton of compliments on this one. People seem to really like it. I will say I probably need to respray paint the top here, but I don't even know that it really matters because, again, once you stick a HomeWorx candle on here, like all of like this part here, this textured part is completely covered. So, but I do love this one, and yeah, I'll never get rid of it. I think it's really pretty, but that original gold was just a little too bright for my liking. Okay. I am now going to show you the one candle pedestal that I did not pay for. So this one was sent to me as PR from HomeWorx, and it sold out extremely quickly, and people were so annoyed. I almost didn't want to like bring this one up here, but just in the effort of saying to HomeWorx, if they are watching, bring this one back. People loved the design, and you should do it because I'm sure it'll sell out again. It's the jack-o'-lantern. Oh man, people love this one. I gotta say, I'm not a huge Halloween person. So, little fun fact about me, I am actually originally from Germany. Both of my biological parents are German. I moved to the US when I was 10. So my mom and my biological dad were not together. They broke up when I was very young. And my mom met my stepdad. He was stationed in Germany at Ramstein Air Force Base. And so after they got married and he left the military, he wanted to move back to the US. And so we just all picked up our lives in Germany and moved over here. So that was my very first introduction to Halloween when I was 11 years old. And by that point, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Stella's still into Halloween now, and she probably will be for a couple more years, but like, it just, I don't know, it wasn't the holiday that spoke to me, if you will. And so I've never really been like a big jack-o'-lantern person, but my daughter is. She really does love Halloween, and she adores this pedestal. So I do break this out the week of Halloween for her, and then she gets to decide what candle goes on here. But yeah, this one sold out extremely quickly. I did not alter the look of this one at all. It came with the orange and then that kind of gunmetal silver finish there. I think it's a really interesting, unique piece. It doesn't speak to my decor tastes. I don't do any Halloween decor around the house other than putting this out for her. And also a lot of like the little things that she's made in school over the years for Halloween. Yeah, I know that people really adored this one, and I think if Harry brought it back, it would go over extremely well. So I'm always gonna leave this one as is because it makes my kid happy. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know, I never got into Halloween. I just did not. We had Fasching in Germany, so I used to dress up for like Fasching. So it's not like, you know, I never like dressed up as a kid in like a costume or something like that, but like we didn't have Halloween. I do believe that a lot of the different areas of Europe now have kind of embraced Halloween, if you will. So, but yeah, anyway, it wasn't really what I grew up with, so there's that. All right, let's do the two kind of specific Christmas ones last. The first one here is one that I've had a really hard time not customizing this one because I'm not sure what I want to do with it, but it's a little bit too vibrant for my tastes, if you will. I think a nice kind of more muted gold would be nice with this one. Not even any of the golds that I've shown so far, maybe like a lighter, not as bright like champagne-y gold would be really nice with this. But I do also think it's just very sweet as it is. So I don't know. This is why I have not touched it quite yet, because I'm just like, I'm not sure what to do with it. But this one has some candy canes on it, as well as these little berries. Got some stars on there. It is very, very cute. But again, it doesn't really fit in with my holiday decor tastes. So I do think that for this year, I'm gonna really think about what I want to do with this one. Maybe, I think I might just take some Rub and Buff to this one. I want some of that green to show through. Like, I don't want to cover up all of the green, but I do think that I want to cover up the red for sure, and then the candy canes and the stars as well. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know what I do. And if you are subscribed and you watch any of my like home decor series for the holidays, you'll see this one in there at that point. So the last pedestal that I want to show you is I believe these are just supposed to be little like, these are like holly berry leaves and holly berries, if you will. And this one originally came, oh yes, so this came in that really like shiny gold that Harry seems to love. So that's the original finish down there, but I went with more of like a muted gold, so not quite as shiny. I think this one is really, really pretty. I really like having this one on our kitchen counter, specifically our island during the holidays. A lot of people that have come over for like our holiday party have really enjoyed this one as well. So it's a gorgeous piece. I would love it if Harry brought this one back, maybe in a few different finishes. It's kind of simple, but really, really, really beautiful. Anyway, all right, you guys, those are all of the pedestals in my collection. Honestly, I'd love to buy more. But like I said, HomeWorx really seems to be focusing on hurricanes, I feel like, right now. And yeah, like I said, none of the hurricanes have spoken to me quite yet. I'm definitely excited to see what they are bringing out in terms of accessories for this fall and holiday season. I know we have Christmas in July coming up here soon, so I'm hoping that maybe there's something in there. But yeah, overall, I think I'm a little bit more of like a HomeWorx purist in that I don't think there's anything more stunning and beautiful than their original pedestals. I just think they're so unique, and like I said, I get a ton of questions about these. So when you see them in my videos, they are all from HomeWorx. All right, you guys, let me know which of these pedestals you'd like to see come back. Let me know what your favorite candle pedestal is if you happen to own any of them. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.